As we know, a lot of parents listen to this podcast, either parents of our players or those that just enjoy listening. And again, thank you for your support. It's a great time to start thinking about return to school for a lot of kids. Thinking in advance, of course, financial planning is one of the key factors when it comes to trying to put things in place for things like we said, return to school, or if we're thinking even longer term, thinking about maybe summer holidays or anything that requires a lot of thought, preparation. It's very difficult to do it alone, especially from a financial point of view. So if you want some financial advice, make sure you reach out to the team and Niall at Financial Planning Matters. You can hit them up at www.fpms.ie and take care of your financial future. Following is a conversation with Corrie Ndaba. Corrie currently plays for newly promoted to the Premier League Ipswich Town, where he's been since 14 years old. When he signed back in the day, he would have been back and forth going over from, at the time, Cherry Orchard, where he spent a couple of years of his underage career across other teams as well. And after the back of a brilliant loan spell with Kilmarnock, where they managed to get European football, Corrie's in really good shape for a really good year. As you see in the conversation, Corrie is an extremely loud, confident, and a really good guy. Speaks really well throughout the podcast, and he speaks on camera exactly like he does day to day. So he's extremely real, authentic, and he's a really funny guy as well. So as always, we hope you enjoy the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, we'd really appreciate anywhere up to a 5-star rating, as long as it's honest. Same with Apple Podcasts. And if you can comment what you think on YouTube, as well as subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're live. There you go. Corrie, welcome. Great to have you. Great to have you. You're just back from a week, aren't you? You had to go do runs, you were saying, back over in Ipswich. So what was that like? The return quite early.
Yeah, so we were in for a week. Very tough. Everyone at Ipswich, they're all athletes. So I was reminded pretty quick of what's to come. But it was good. You know, I'm getting back into it now, so I'm happy.
Nice. That whole thing. That now obviously Premier League club. Is there a different approach to pre-season, do you think, or would it be similar enough?
Yeah, even coming in for a week, obviously before, since I've been at Ipswich, that's never happened. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a part of just getting everyone ready and up to speed. But I think the manager's good. He knows what he has to do. So I think it'll pretty much be the same. You know, everyone's on it. Everyone's knows what to do. Yeah, so everyone's excited. So
it's a big year. Big year. It's quality. Ipswich are a huge club, aren't they?
Massive.
Yeah. I've always felt like they're a massive club. Like I'd put them, obviously, I was thinking about it even driving up. You have like clubs with like heritage, like Notts Forest, for example, where they've won a Champions League. But Ipswich is kind of in that borderline of should be a top Premier League club and can be if they kind of get going again. It's in a good platform now at the moment. Which is, like you said, there's a lot of good players there. Yeah. And you've got a really good gaffer that is bringing us up.
Obviously, I've been there years now, since I'm 14, 15. So I've seen been through different managers, seen the rise in the club, you know. But some years when we're in the champ getting relegated, there was fans hating it, and now it's just like boom. Like you can't. Everyone's filling the seats. Everyone's like on it. The manager, unreal. So. I think it's an exciting time to be at Ipswich at the minute. Yeah,
it's one of them. And again, how important that is, like momentum. How important is momentum to like keep gradually improving year on year? Because again, like it looks like almost overnight that you get a gaffer change or whatever for X amount of years or months, and then it just everyone it seems like it rises quickly. Well, in actual fact, that momentum gradually builds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, obviously, I've been on loan, so I've been kind of looking from the outside in, almost like a fan, because the change in the club, like I said, has just gone that way, and I feel like they just caught that wave. You know, obviously, but everyone's doing everything properly. The managers tops, and the players just know what they have to do, and they've just caught that wave where they're just grinding wins out, or they're coming from behind, or they're scoring last minute, and I think them little things just boost everyone around the club. Like that, you can see the fans are more excited, the stadium's getting filled. So again, I just think it's an exciting time to be at Ipswich.
Yeah, nice.
I remember last year you were telling me one of the big things that McNamara was doing was very detail orientated. McKenna, sorry. McKenna, yeah. I always mix him up with another fella. But I think one example was like from defending corners. So there was real detail in like body shapes, how to approach players in 1v1 situations. Is that what really is the camp really message across all the different functions and stuff?
Yeah. Like, I think it's cliche, but you don't really realise how good someone, like a good a manager can be until he comes in. Like I say, that little story where it was a corner and I'm bouncing like up and down. He's like, no, go side to side, like, so that half a yard where you're up, someone can get in front of you. And I'm thinking, like, no one's even stopped to tell me that ever. I never even would think of that, you know. But that's obviously top level. He come from United, you know what I mean? So it's like the little details, and obviously going into Prem, it's like you need them little details. And I just think he's on everything, you know. And as a player, you want to know how you want to play for the manager and what you need to do. And I just think playing under him would be like, you just know what you're doing, you know what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I didn't play much under him, but even the small period of time I was with him training, I just thought, yeah, he's top.
Yeah.
He's just no.
I remember talking about last year, I could nearly feel your excitement with everything like in Ipswich, but I think you said there earlier, you went over at 14. Is that right?
I think I had my first trial at Ipswich when I was 13. And then, like, at 14, I'd go over for, like, a month, come back. I'd go over for another month, come back. And then I'd moved over when I was 15, I'm sure, yeah.
That's very young.
Yeah, but like I say, in Dublin, how it was back then, it was like, if you're not in England by 15, 16, you're not going to make it. So I was like, I remember being, like, 13, going on trial, thinking, like, what's going on? I'm not in England yet. Like, I'm not gonna. Honestly, that's how we all used to think, because we had players like going over really early. Like, we had like a Tyreek Wilson who was going to Man City at 13. Yeah. So I remember seeing that, thinking like, whoa, like he's gone already. Like, what am I doing? I mean, and like I said, I wasn't making like DDSL teams and stuff like that. So I thought I was like way behind. You know, that's just how I was thinking. And I just remember I need to get over. I want to go over. And once I did, I was buzzing, like, but thinking now I was like really young, so
yeah,
so it's a bit interesting. It's a bit mad.
Yeah, because it's kind of shifted more so now. I think the advice, well, I suppose with the League of Ireland and Brexit, it's kind of like stay till 18, rack up 50 appearances, senior football, and then shift across. Whereas I think when you went over, it's more like the traditional of like getting over before 16, going through the academy structure, and then trying to get in, which has quite a high fail rate. So it's a real testament to the work that you've done over the last few years to actually be in a position where you're at a Premier League club still, have a lot of appearances on loans and stuff. So it's been an interesting journey so far, I'd say.
I think coming from Dublin, everyone's a bit mad, you know what I mean? So when they go over, they get homesick a lot. You know, I never really had that problem. I was in Dublin always thinking like, this isn't for me. I don't want to be here. I need to be there. And once I was there, I just fully bought into it, you know, and it's tough, like it's like I say, you need a lot of luck, hard work, and things to go your way, be in the right place at the right time. Like, cause still now I'm fighting to get into Ipswich team, and you have to go on many loans and stuff. But I think when you really want something, you're dedicating, you're hard working, like it'll happen for you, you know. And like again, injuries as well. It's be hard to. You got to stay fit and stuff like that. But for me, I think I've had a bit of luck, and I work hard, so I'm happy to still obviously be there. And
from the time you were 14 till, let's say, 18, were you living in digs with a family appointed by Ipswich?
Yeah, so that's how you live in digs, just with like a family that works for the club. I think I was in so many different digs. I was like a...
Bouncing.
Yeah. I was just everywhere. But I didn't really care. I was in England, I was happy. I could have put me anywhere, and I don't care,
Yeah, quality. So interesting.
But why do you bounce? Is it just year on year?
Nah, it's different with everyone. Like, some people stay in the same digs the whole way through. Some people move. I remember the first digs I went into, I didn't like at all. And like I say, I couldn't live anywhere. But I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I need things to be clean and tidy. But I just ended up moving like all the time. That's all.
But you're a germaphobe. That's funny. So you're picking and choosing. Your standards are obviously sky high.
No, I just like being tidy and like clean. I don't like a mess or stuff like that. And I wanted to always be in a digs on my own instead of with someone else. I don't know, I just like my own space and stuff like that.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting personality trait.
Yeah.
Because, like, footballers can be sloppy, you know? Can be just care about football and whatever else happens in my personal life doesn't really matter. But you obviously don't seem like that.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. Like I said, I like to be tidy. When you wake up and everything's tidy and everything's in place, you just feel better. You're ready for the
Big
day.
time.
If everything's just all over the gaff, I never really liked that. So just tidy.
100%, man.
Nice.
What was the first loan move and how did that come about?
First loan, I've had a few loan moves now.
Yeah, there's been a
First
few
loan
clubs, yeah.
move, it was in the Scottish Championship when I was 18, 19. I went to Ayr United and I remember I didn't really want to go, and then I went and I enjoyed it. It was like a real physical league, like tough, just scrapping. And I think being a young centre half or a defender, I think that's good for you. You need that exposure in your career. You know, get like in aggressive battles all the time. So I think that was good for me, and then it improved me a bit.
Was it a big culture shock going from like Ipswich in terms of facilities, staff, and personnel to a loan move? Was it an entirely different setup?
Yeah, but I think you expect it. You know, obviously
Okay.
Ipswich is a very big club. Facility is very good. If you're going to a different club like that, you're gonna know.
Okay.
You know, it's not like walking into an ambush. You know, but it's just like the little things to help you improve. Obviously, it matters. Do you know what I mean? But you obviously just have to. You know, you're there, right? I need to get on with this. How can I be the best, or how can I get the best out of this? You know, but again, like I said, I was just very physical, and coming through the academies, it's a lot of more technical. So that was good for me.
Yeah, completely different shift. Did you play much football at all at that level?
When I went in January, and the manager in that league is tough. We tried to play a little bit, and then he got sacked, and another manager came in, and like I always try to play out a bit. I remember the foot he come in, everyone's in the change room, and he's like, "You." I see all them Cruyff tours, none of that shit. Put it in the channel. And I'm thinking, yeah. So, and any time like I'd still do something, and he'd be like, I can see him looking at me, but because it come off, he didn't really get onto it. But if it doesn't come off, like he's on you. Do you know what I mean? So, I'll never forget. He's like, "You, none of that Cruyff tour bollocks."
Going down the leagues is so like humbling almost.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the football at academy level, we speak about it with all the lads that come on. It's like false, isn't it? It's very nice.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of stands off each other, lets each other play, and then it's like that's a real rude awakening when you go play men's football. The centre forwards and stuff, especially for you as a young defender. How do you find playing against like grown men who are there to make a living? It's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely tougher, I'd say, because, or maybe when you're first going into it, it's a bit of a shock. But I don't know, I always just had the mentality of, you're not going to beat me, or do you know what I mean? So, and I know I needed that, like, to experience that. So I was just always up for the challenge, whatever it is, I'm up for the challenge. But there's some crazy geezers in them leagues, you know what I mean? I remember we had like another a goalkeeper on loan from Aston Villa, and he's let a goal in. I've come into the change room now, and you're getting gripped up. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm thinking, I've never really seen that before. And then I remember a CB, he's made a mistake for the goal. Gaffers come in, going mad at him, and they're like squaring up, fighting. And I'm thinking, I've never seen, what's going on here? This is mad. Like, but yeah, you see some mad stuff. You see some mad stuff.
What's your reaction like to that? Like as a young kid in the dressing room, are you looking at it going, "What the f*** am I doing here?"
I think it's more inside. You're thinking like, what the f*** is going on here? And then, but you don't want to really like show. You're like thinking, "Whoa," you know what I mean? So it's just you're just sitting there looking like, "Yeah, this is mad."
Yeah.
Do you get like numb to that? Like you just see it so many times, you're kind of like, it's just part of the game. Like
Yeah. I think anything that happens in a change room, which there's some mad stuff that happens in change rooms, it doesn't really come out of the change room. You see it, and
fairs.
like you just go numb to it, and you just brush it under the carpet. Because some stuff in the change room just.
I know. I've never played professionally, but it's so funny. Like even when you're talking to pros, obviously it's great to hear stories from like dressing rooms and like trying to get a feel for it. But like we're always saying like we'll only ever know like 10% of anything. 100%. And the way it should be like it should be your own environment.
Yeah, I think as well. Even the stories you hear might be filtered down a little bit. Just I think because it's like so many different people from all over the world who haven't really had a childhood, you know, because from young you're at academies, you sacrifice, you don't really go out, you don't. So in the changing rooms when you're young and stuff coming up, it's a bit mad, you know. Everyone's showing their personality in a different way, and then it's any time a lot of guys are around each other, there's a lot of testosterone in the gaff, like something's happening. Do you know what I mean? Something's happening. So,
egos, all that sort of stuff.
So.
Then heavy competition, games to win. That's the whole thing, isn't it? That transition, obviously the physical part of it in all aspects, but definitely as a centre half playing against centre forwards is tough. But you've got to like win. Like in academy football, you obviously want to win, but it's not the same, is it? Then you go into a senior dressing room and it's all based around winning.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the thing in football. No one really cares how you feel or what you're going through or what's happening. You need to get the job done, and you almost have to create a person, like that can deal with that. Some players can, some players can't. For me, I don't know. Coming up through like living in Dublin, like everyone's mad here, so I was just a bit hardened from where I'm from, you know. So I didn't really care. I just took everything in my stride. But when you look back and think like, oh, like that. How do I get through that? Or do you know what I mean? But it's like you create a person, a character to get through the pressure, because it's a lot, but I kind of enjoy it, you know. I need to be doing something that's so hard, like killing my brain and testing me, you know, because it's easy to just get comfortable, you know. And like I say again, there's a lot of pressure on football, you know. It's do your job. If you don't do your job, I guess someone else to do it, you know. That's how it is.
Yeah. So do you have like, not split personality, but two different personalities, like a football persona, and like, would you be entirely different when you're away from like cameras, lights, football? Like, is it a real big shift?
I'd say because like when I'm at the club, my personality is I'm quite loud and I'm like always happy and I love a bit of banter and stuff. I'm like that at the club, and then sometimes I just want to be alone, you know. I just want to switch off. So I'd say some people do have a persona at the club, you know, and then just when they're at home themselves, they're back to themselves. But I don't know, maybe the people around you just bring it out of you know, because even like quiet people at certain clubs I've seen, they really want to get you out of your shell. Like they're going to test you, you know what I mean? So you have to bring a bit of yourself, your personality, and show it, you know. But I think it's good because everyone shows their personality in different ways.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different characters, and that's why you might see someone ask a footballer, who's the funniest in the changing room? Like, I don't know, because it's like so many different characters and personalities, you know. There's a loud one, there's the quiet one that has the little one-liners, just so many different personalities.
Yeah. What type of personality do you like being around most in a club?
I love all of them, but I don't know. I love someone who loves a bit of banter, a bit loud as well. But like I say, there's so many different ones. I like all different types, you know, because even sometimes you'll go into a club and let's say you get on with him. You love everyone, obviously, but let's say you think, I'm gonna be close with him, and then boom, you're close with him, and you're all close, but you don't know who. Because I've been at clubs where I end up being really close to someone who's completely opposite to me. Do you know what I mean? But I think once you're both working hard and you want the same thing, you just connect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
man.
You love everyone, but you obviously have your favourites. It's like anything.
Interesting.
Teams are like that. There's just so many characters. Even if you look at the players we work with, everyone's so different.
Yeah.
Entirely different personalities. Some of them are like grouped in terms of like how they, now obviously some of them might know each other, but even if not, there's, to be honest, everyone we've had in this year is quite loud and very like open and chatty. Some are very quiet around us. I can imagine they're definitely not quiet around their mates and stuff. It's just mad trying to, like, you can imagine how difficult it is for a gaffer to try get everyone on the same hymn sheet, because like it's tough for us. It's tough trying to get the message across to 2 or 3 players who really want to buy into it. But a gaffer who's trying to win with pressure from the board, pressure from XYZ, has a livelihood and they're trying to get every single player with crazy personalities to go, right, this is how we're going to play. It's tough.
Yeah, 100. Then again, yeah, it is tough, but I think it's like, right, this is what I want. This is my standard. You either meet it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously the man managing comes in, you got to deal with different players and whatever. But some managers can do that. Some managers say, I don't really care. This is what you have to do. Do you know what I mean? So it all depends on the manager. But again, this is my standard. This is where we need to go. You either hit it or you don't. Or you'll be left behind pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Was Salford the first club where you got a lot of appearances consistently on a loan move?
Yeah, that was obviously my first league loan. I really enjoyed it. Really good time. Obviously, playing week in, week out, like Saturday, Tuesday, a lot of games. That was good exposure. Again, League Two is physical, but when I was there that year, teams were trying to play, so it kind of suited me, and I enjoyed it. You know, I think I done well there. The fans loved me, so it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. I remember we were watching a documentary with Corrie Ndaba in it, and I think you just signed, and then he was in a board meeting talking about how good Irish players are and how untapped that market is. And then we were saying, geez, I wonder is that like a spark from when Corey went across?
Yeah, there's a lot of Irish players like that go over. You see through every academy there'll be at least 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I mean? Like especially at Ipswich when I was coming up, even staff academy players, there's a lot of Irish. You know, I think they obviously look into that market and think I can get a really good player here, or I can turn an average player into a really good player, and they maybe can get them for a bit cheaper, you know, and obviously they'll get them really young and just like take them themselves. And obviously there is a lot of good players here, you know, because in Ireland as well, you grow up tough. Like I remember when I was young, we loved a good tackle. We used to, I'm going to clamp him. That's how it was, you know. That's all. I just used to think I'm going to go on this pitch and clamp someone. And then obviously going over to Ipswich, it's more technical and stuff like that. So it's a mix of everything of becoming the complete player. It's definitely a good market to obviously just raid all the teams, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting because then I kept an eye on Salford. I didn't see a lot of Irish movement from, well, definitely not at academy level, but even like senior player wise. Like, I think, were you one of the only Irish players that were in Salford at that stage?
At that time, yeah, I was. I'm trying to think, is there any?
Yeah, I can't think of anything either, if I'm honest with you.
No. I think I was the only Irish. But I remember when I first went over to England, obviously black and an Irish accent, they were like, what's going on here? So everyone's like, what's... But obviously there's diversity they didn't really know.
Yeah,
they were shocked, like, black Irish, what's going on here?
In Salford, did you have any dealings with the board, the big boys?
They're at every game, really.
Yeah.
I think Gary Neville was the most hands-on. He'd come into training sessions sometimes, speak to the lads, but everyone was there. Like, I am a United fan, so I remember seeing Roy Keane, Giggs, all these players, Nicky Butt, and I'm thinking, oh wow, fucking hell, like this is sick, this is unreal. Like, but obviously it's a good club because it has a lot of exposure from obviously all the owners and stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I remember actually the first time I met Scalzi, I was staying in his hotel. He owns a hotel there, and I parked in disabled. I was in the disabled parking, and I think maybe his nephew or his son.
His son.
His son's disabled,
autistic,
and he's walking on. I think, oh shit! Like, this is the first time meeting Scalzi, and I'm in disabled parking, and he's walking with his son. Oh god, like, I fucked it. But he didn't really say it. He didn't say nothing, and I was thinking, oh phew, like. But I'm not parking there again. Like. I think I have a problem with my parking. I need to sort the parking.
Jesus Christ.
God, I can feel your heart.
Yeah,
like,
I just remember thinking, oh shit. You know, you just know you've messed up. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, fucked up, man. That's hilarious.
What's his personality like, Scalzi's? Like, did you have any, like, obviously they have probably short dealings, like after a game or whatever, like, oh, well done or whatever, but did they ever, like, proper sit down and have a conversation with you?
It was more Gary Neville.
Yeah.
He's more hands-on. Scalzi was just like, he'd watch training here and there and just have like little comments. But I remember saying, obviously, when I met him that time, I said, oh, good luck, like, good to have you. how's everything, how you getting on, just basic stuff like that. So, but he was more, I'd say, the quiet one.
And what's Neville like? He seems like, we obviously watch a lot of his stuff. We're United fans as well.
Yeah.
And he's just he's a crazy man, isn't he? Like, he's everywhere.
He's doing everything. He's everywhere. I think, like, obviously you can see through his punditry and that he's tactically like switched on really good. Obviously you wouldn't have thought that from his
Legend.
but he's you know, he'll give you pointers here and there, but he's good. Yeah, I liked him.
It's great. The clubs like that, Salford for me was like, it was almost like a smaller version of the current Wrexham.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It was,
Yeah, like when the big boys took over, there was a bit like a momentum behind the club. They started going up through the ranks quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cool club. Did you win Young Player of the Year or Player of the Year?
Player of the Year.
Some going.
Yeah.
First year in League Two.
Yeah, it was quite like
on loan.
the fans just took to me instantly, like always singing my name, and I was thinking like, oh, this is unreal. Like that was the first time that like I felt that love from the fans, where they're singing my name every week, and I'm thinking, yeah, like this is really, I really enjoyed it.
How big of a difference does that make if you get buy-in from a full club? Not just the obviously staff and stuff will like it, players will like it, but a fan base to get behind you.
I think it's really important. I think that when you work hard on a pitch, fans know, like, they love it, so they can love you pretty quick. Obviously, they can hate you quick, but they can love you pretty quick. And I think it just gives you that extra bit of confidence, that extra boost. It's like they say fans are like the 12th man. They literally are. When you hear them singing your name, you make a good tackle or you make a good pass. It's like momentum, adrenaline. It's really good for you.
Yeah, that adrenaline rush must be insane.
Yeah.
Like scoring a goal and making a big tackle in front of the crowd. Even I think sometimes now, obviously, you want to be playing top stage, Premier League, Champions Leagues, Euros, World Cups. But like making a good tackle in a League Two stadium when it's really cramped, congested, loud, must be something else.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stadiums in League Two as well. To be fair, so there's some good atmospheres there. You know, like I say, even if it's like not a big stadium and the fans are just all on it screaming, like it's good atmosphere. Yeah,
everywhere across England, even if you go down to the conference and stuff, the crowds they get is.
Yeah, I think it's only improved. Everything's just improving now. Like, it's all getting better. Like, I remember even at Ipswich when they're in the champ, having a tough season. Like, there wasn't, like, half the stadium was full at sometimes. I'm thinking, looking at, like, there's not much atmosphere here. And then now I go and I'm like, whoa, this is like top.
Yeah.
So.
The Ipswich Stadium's nice as well. Like, the clubs like that, they just have to be in the Premier League, like, and everyone's competing for that. You look at something that dipped off, like Middlesbrough, Charlton,
Blackburn,
like huge clubs that are lingering. Leeds, obviously.
Yeah,
like, there's some huge clubs in the champ that struggle to get out. Some never will get back out. Like, it's crazy to think the volume, the size of these clubs. After Salford, where did you go then?
Where did I go? I've been everywhere. So, I went to Burton on loan then.
Burton, yes.
Burton. I was there for 6 months. I had a lot of injuries when I was there. I went there, got injured straight away. I was out for it was weird because I was out for, I'd say, 2.5, 3 months altogether. But I had a muscle injury. I'd come back, get injured again. I was probably rushing to get back too quick, I'd say. So that was just very frustrating. And then got back, played a stretch of games, but it was a good club, family club. I liked. There's a lot of good people there. I enjoyed it. But then I left in January again and went on loan somewhere else. So it was short and frustrating, but obviously good. I think wherever you go, you learn something and you try and improve something. Bouncing
between loans must be tough, because are you moving from place to place to place to place?
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of the clubs are going to be a little bit all over.
Yeah, that's what I've just been used to, always just moving. So I just take everything in my stride, but I didn't really care. I'd be down here, up here. I've been everywhere, nearly everywhere in UK now. So. But I think, again, it's good, you get exposure to different things, different people, different staff. You learn new things with each club, so I've enjoyed all of it, really.
Yeah, your network grows stronger too.
Yeah, definitely. The accommodation stuff, do you have to go sort out yourself? The club look after you when you go on loan?
No, when you go on loan, the club gets you a place, but obviously depends on you. Like, you could want to get your own place. When I was at Booton, I got my own place, but the rest, the club just sort of.
Nice.
And are Ipswich constantly checking in when you're on loan, or how does that work?
Yeah. So you'll have like a loans manager,
Okay.
or the manager will speak to you, or the assistant, like whoever, or depends. Like after a game, they'll ask you how do you think you're doing, or you could do this, or want you to work on this. And then even the Ipswich players, you know, the Ipswich captain has always been good at me. He'll be checking in, saying, "Oh, how's it going? Are you doing this?" Or when I was injured in Burton, he'd be like, "Oh, go see him." Like, I think Ipswich good. Like the whole club help you a lot. So I've been lucky that way.
Interesting. That's good to hear. I've heard some horror stories about lads on loan.
Yeah, you know, it's different. It could sometimes there could be no communication, but I think if you start thinking, "Oh, no one speaks to me, no one cares," that's gonna affect what you're doing at that club. You know, I think even when I'm at loan, I don't really want to hear anything from anyone else. So I'm here. I need to fully focus and buy into what we're doing here. So obviously you want to get feedback and stuff, but if I didn't get a call or I didn't get a text, I wasn't crying about it. I'm here. I'm sweet. But obviously everyone's different, so it depends on you really.
Where do you think a lot of your success has come from to date? Because I get this impression that you are very much just a lone soldier who knows what he wants.
Yeah, I think maybe just having my mind right, my mentality right, and like just getting stuff done no matter how I feel, or just that determination to get to where I want. You know, you can't beat someone who never gives up. So that's my mentality, that's my mind, and I think that's the reason.
How important do you think personality is to be a pro footballer? Because it definitely is a certain type of character.
Yeah, it depends as well. Like, there's some shy players, and then their personality comes out on the pitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I was just always a big personality and loud, and want to connect with the staff, the players. I want everyone to like me. I want to be, because if we're going to battle, you need to be together. So I think it is it can help you a lot. Because maybe if you're a young player from a big club coming on loan somewhere and you're quiet, you don't really speak to someone, some people can take that in the wrong way and think, "Oh, he thinks he's better than us," or I don't know, do you know what I mean? So you kind of have to be cute and play the game a little bit, but that's just always been my personality. I want to connect with people.
Interesting. And this year was obviously a great year. I think it was 30 plus appearances, a lot of big wins. How did you find that loan move at Kilmarnock?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it again. You know, the fans took to me again. You know, they really loved me. So that again was a boost. You know, I was going into every game confident, and obviously playing like the big games, Celtic, Rangers, beating them was like,
Yeah, massive wins.
yeah, really big. You know, so and obviously everyone knows they're big clubs. So until you go there, you don't really realise how big they are. You know, like I remember we beat Celtic, and I'm getting DMs from the fans saying like, "Listen, you're giving me all sorts of stick." Do you know what I mean? So like they just love Celtic, Rangers, and it's like even the girls, Celtic or Rangers, and I'm thinking like, this is
Really?
yeah. Like everyone, they just love. It's two massive clubs.
So if you're on a date with somebody, like a girl, they'd ask you that question straight out.
Yeah. What
It's like a religion,
Who
isn't
do you like? Yeah, so yeah, that's how it is.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sure you got that a lot, by the way.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Because it's like let's say their whole family will be Celtic or Rangers, and they just have to buy into that.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to be, you know what I mean? And even if they don't really like it, because it's on so much and pushed so much, it's like you have to accept it and love it. So
Yeah, 100%. And the Scottish Premiership, how different is that to League 2, League 1 champ?
It's like it's a hard one to compare, because obviously you have Celtic, Rangers who are top, could be Prem.
Yeah.
Then you have like the Hearts who are really good teams. Then you had like, I don't know, let's say like a Livingston away. That's a tough fixture. It's a bit slower, more physical. You know, so it's some clubs will be League 2 level, some clubs League 1, some champ, some Prem. So it's all of a mix. That's the tough thing as well. You could go from playing a Celtic or a Rangers to bottom of the league Livingston, you know, and that's like a weird one as well. So I think we always just done well. Any of the big boys we done really well, you know. we obviously had a good season, done well, got into Europe. But I think the big games it was like you puff your chest out a bit and you wanna like beat them, because I think in Scotland the mentality is, Celtic or Rangers, they're gonna beat us. But I don't know, we had a lot of joy from them teams, so it was good.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Scottish League is an interesting one, because you hear it's a mixed bag like that. Some clubs, like obviously Celtic, Rangers, they're massive, like huge clubs, but there's such a big divide between the top and then the bottom.
Yeah.
While like a Premier League, everyone in the Premier League's good.
Yeah.
Like every single team is good. Even if you look at the teams that went down this year, like Luton, Burnley. Who's the third team that went down? Sheffield United. They're all big clubs, like, and probably could warrant their stay there. Obviously, they had tough years last year, so the gap isn't massive. So every game is a big one. But even in Scotland, like we hear a lot from players that like some throw it out there, and I think it's a very ambitious, but saying maybe one or two, like, but some in Ireland could go play in the Scottish Premier League. I'm like, you want to like play in that, I would say, to be like, it's easy to jump in there. It's definitely not as easy as you think.
Yeah, it's definitely better than what I thought it would be. You know, again, it's hard to compare, but you gotta go try and see for yourself too. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Go on, sorry.
This pre-season now, is the plan to try and break into Ipswich?
I think it's a weird one because I don't really know where I'm at with it. I feel like I'm not in the plans, but obviously I'm always going to go in and try my best to get into the team. But obviously I've got a year left, so I'm just going to go back and do my best. If I can get in the team and stuff like that would be a dream for me, you know, to play for Ipswich. Obviously being there so long, I feel like that's obviously always my goal, you know, but we'll see. Obviously they're in the Prem now, they could invest a lot, so we'll have to see. It'll be even harder again, you know.
It never gets easier, does it?
No. There's always like something. There's always the next goal, you know. I think as well that's why my person I don't really get excited about anything, because it's like in football. Let's say you win a game, okay, I have to win the next one, or you reach a goal, okay, I have to do this next, or I have to. He's here, so I need to. Do you know what I mean? So I don't even really get excited. I'm always just try to keep it balanced like that.
Would you get, so you wouldn't get a lot of high highs, would you also not get any low lows?
Yeah, like now I'm really good. I just stay level, you know, because I know it's a long season. Different turns of events are going to happen. It's going to be bad one week, really good one week, you know, but that's why you got to just try balance it out and stay consistent. But, yeah.
And like at 24, there is like so much years left of football. Would it be a case where you'd want to like try potentially like Europe or outside of the UK as well? Has that even come to mind?
Yeah, of course. I think I'm open to anything, you know. There's obviously a lot of opportunities in football. I think the playing in the Scottish Prem, that market, a lot of foreign clubs and clubs in Europe and outside Europe look at that league a lot. So it's definitely something I'd be open to. You know, I think in my career I'd want to play abroad, because obviously there's a lot of stories of players doing well. Obviously, a lot of good saying. I've always moved, you know. So for me, I can go anywhere as long as I'm playing football. I'm happy. But yeah, it's definitely an avenue. You know, I'd probably go down.
Yeah, second H. Yeah, and day to day when you're like in season, how often do you see family or friends or anything like that?
It all depends. Like your family can come over to UK whenever, really. I don't actually come back to Dublin too much when I'm there. I'd rather bring my family over to UK. I normally would just come back like at the end of the season. But everyone's different, you know. It's whatever way you want to do with your family. Some families go over a lot. Some families don't go over too much because again they're working or whatever they're doing. It just all depends on you.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Do you have a group of mates here that live in Ireland still, or it's mainly all your friend groups over there?
It's mainly UK. Obviously, I have mates here, but once like really really close. But everything is mainly UK. Like to me, that feels more like home. Like, if that
You've
makes
been
sense.
there for what?
10 years.
10 years. Like that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a very long time.
Yeah.
So is that all through football? you were mates?
Most of my friends, just through football, you know. Obviously, all my friends from school and stuff now, either, I don't know, doing crazy stuff, so I can't have to try stay clear of that, you know.
I get it. I get it.
You know?
Where are you from originally?
Crumlin.
Oh, we're in the corner. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I live, yeah.
But you played for Cherry Orchard Schoolboy. Did you play for Crumlin Schoolboy as well?
Yeah, I played for Crumlin for a year. I've been I actually lived in Drogheda for a while when I was younger. I've lived in Tala, but mainly Crumlin when I was younger.
Okay, yeah.
I've always been moving. Even when I was younger in school, I'd be in loads of different schools. I was moving, so I'm just used to moving. And
probably helps. Yeah. Like you've almost grown up with it.
Yeah,
it's just part of nature.
Used to change.
Just bouncing. Yeah, it's something that most people will struggle significantly with changing environments, changing schools. That a change of school for someone could be like a whole major
Everyone
deal.
always says to me, "Oh, is that not like mad? Always changing that?" But I never really think of it. I'm doing it. I just look like, mate, it's fine. Like I don't care. But you never really think, obviously, that like you say, that would be tough for anyone else. But that's just always what I've been used to, so I don't really think about it.
Mm-hmm. That's mad.
As you're starting to get older, do you do a little bit more like reflection on your past and stuff?
Yeah, I think you do. That's what you do when you get older. You reflect, you try and mature, everything like that. But yeah, I think because I've lived like a fast life and I'm moving, I never really took the time to sit back and like reflect and look at my life. But I think now, like you say, as I'm getting older, I do that. But maybe I don't want to do that because it's quite scary. So.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, as you get older, you do, yeah.
Yeah, I think from 24 to 28, that was a big change for me, I have to say. Just general, like a lot of it is like looking forward and goal orientated, and then when you kind of hit 24, there's like weeks and months where you're kind of just looking back, not like in regret, but it's more so like there is a path to get here, whereas as you said, it's just fast life, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Even when I first went over to England, I was like the typical Dublin lad, like a bit mad, bit crazy. I was like an aggressive person, and I almost had to like teach myself how to become a normal person again. Like now I'm just quite chill and happy. I've always been a bit loud and stuff, but I remember being like, I didn't know how to speak to people. I was disrespectful, not in like a bad way. I always had a good heart, but that was just me, an aggressive person. And then I had to, like I say, teach myself how to become normal and nice. Like I remember, obviously in Dublin we swear a lot. Like I'd go over and that's just how I was talking. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, bro, you can't say that. I'm like, mate, shut your mouth. Do you know what I mean? That's how it was. So I'm kind of like, had to just tone it down and become normal. Like,
Yeah, man.
Because even now when I come back and I see everyone speak like that, I'm a bit like, oh, I get it now. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's every 2 seconds, oh, look at this. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm just calm now.
Yeah, it's a culture thing, an intensity thing. Like you've obviously played in a lot of clubs, a lot of different nationalities. I'm guessing there's other people from other nationalities that have other like personality
we're
traits.
quite similar to Scottish. When I was in Scotland, that's how it was. Everyone was like, the banter is more ruthless, and that's how it is here. Everyone's swearing every 2 words. That's how it goes, you know. I think England is a bit, well, in Ipswich and stuff, is a bit more like diluted. So it all just depends, like I say, where you are. But you just obviously in certain places you can't speak like an idiot. You know? So,
I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
I worked for a US company, and I remember there's this one guy from the East Coast who couldn't even understand, and I don't have a Dublin accent, I don't think. If anything, it's kind of like posher, and couldn't understand what I was saying. Just even like small like slang words as well that we would insert that you wouldn't even know, like which I always thought was gas. Let's say like you're training, I don't know, 2 hours maybe a day or whatever. Like what does the off time look like?
Oh, do you know what? I think footballers have a lot of off time in terms of, let's say you have to go in 9 or 10. If you really wanted, you could finish at 1 o'clock every day, but obviously let's say on average you do your training, you have your lunch, then you go to the gym. You could be finished 2-3 o'clock every day, you know, so that's a lot of time to, obviously you need to rest and stuff, but that's why I'd say, like, if you're at a club, just do everything you can every day, and that's like really important. The staff will look at it and you're gonna get better, and they're looking at you like, oh, he's dedicated, and little details like that they want you around. You're good to be around a place and stuff like that. So there is a lot of off time, but obviously you're always sore somewhere. Do you know what I mean? You're pushing your body to the max every day, but that's why some people say, oh, footballers have it easy. They finish early every day, but it's not like that, because the hours you're in, you're at your best, you're top. Do you know what I mean? You have to max it out. So it is obviously recovery's a big one as well. You know, I'd say use your time to recover, make sure your body's well, all that stuff. But you do have a lot of free time. You know, it can be quite boring sometimes and lonely, but I think you have to sacrifice for success. Though, whatever it is, I don't care as long as I'm going that way with football. You know,
and let's say, like, even with like fashion and clothes and stuff, is it very much like a culture of, if you're off, like you're shopping or you're out dating girls, or like what is it like? I have never been in that environment before. Yeah,
again, it all depends on you, whatever you like to do.
Yeah.
Some people like to be around their mates and go for food, do whatever. A lot of the boys do that, but again, at the club, you're all brothers, so it's like you see each other every day. Sometimes you just want to go home and chill. Sometimes I don't want to go home and be bored. Let's do something, or you come over. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything. So it's just like you and your normal mates. What you want to do today? What we doing? Or do you know what I mean? So it all depends on the person.
Yeah, because football is kind of, I would say, they're like separated from society, like on a pedestal, where I think it's a completely different life. But at the end of the day, like, we're all just human.
It's the same,
yeah. All just humans.
I do get that, putting them on a pedestal and stuff, but we're all the same. Like, we're just in the limelight because people love football and stuff. I get it, and you have to almost be a role model. But that's kind of tough for some players, you know, because we're all just like normal lads. Like, I'm from Crumlin Council Estates, you know what I mean? And you have to become this person then, you know, and that change it's hard for some people, but I don't know, you'll get help from the club, I guess. You'll be around good people, so and there's always somebody who's done it before you, so you can just look and try to take pieces from everyone, and you'll be sweet.
Did you? Sorry, go on. I was going to say, it's interesting that the whole idea of, like you're saying, you're bouncing from place to place, Crumlin, Drogheda, Tala, and then you kind of, so people don't see that, but then they end up seeing, oh, Corrie driving lovely car, nice gear, doing unreal things, playing in Celtic Park, like, unbelievable. Do you ever, like, I don't know, almost like empathise with people who probably look at you and go, fucking wanker?
Yeah, that's it. I never really looked at it like that, actually, and then maybe sometimes when I come back in Dublin, that's how it is. But for me, I don't really worry about that. I just focus on myself. I don't really care about anyone else, you know. So, and I think I'm a good person. It's not like I'm trying to, or it's not like I'm some mad big footballer or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be a good person, and if I like something, I wanna, and I can get that, I'm gonna do it. You know, I don't really think about anyone else. I just do what I want to do, and that's how I've been my whole life. You know. Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, being I don't know, genuine's tough, I would say, as someone who's in the limelight a lot, because like you said, every day people don't consider that with football. You're in pretty much every day, but your work hours wise might be less. And what I found interesting what you said there is your output, it has to be top, like all the time.
Yeah.
I could check in, or someone would check into a generic job at 9 o'clock and they're done at 5, but they're not at it all day. Like there's just no way. Well, footballers putting their physical load up to nearly the max most days, and then obviously mentally you have to deal with all the external pressures. But then in the other hand, the career is, for most people, max you'll get is like 10 to 15 years if you're at it with no injuries and stuff. It's just so like the contrast is massive, and everyone obviously like judges the other side of it.
Yeah, you got to think of it. It's a short career, you know. You got to get your absolute max out of it, and like you say, short hours, but you have to be on it. Or like I say, if you're not on it, you'll get left behind very quick and you can drop down very quick. And that's the thing in football, things change really quick. You can drop down quick or you can go up really quick, you know. So you deal with so many different things, so many different pressure. And I feel like unless you're in it, you'll never fully understand it, you know. And that's why you might get, obviously, people looking at you like, oh, look at this, like, he's a fucking, how's he doing it or whatever. That's why I don't have that mentality. I don't think that way. It's not for me, you know. So I think as well that's kind of motivation for me, because if someone wants me to do bad or whatever, I know, right, that I need to get the best out of me. I need to be the best. People are like, what's the cliche, praying on my downfall. Like, I want to show people like this is my life. This is what I'm dedicated towards. So I have to keep this up,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So it's how you look at it. It's all about your mind, your mentality. I think I've seen the change in my mind coming from Dublin, council estates, and how I probably used to maybe think that way. And then how I've changed, you know, when you're around people who want to be the best, people who are trying to get the best out of everyone, you know. So just work on your mind, be the best you, and don't stress about other people, is what I'd say, really. I'm talking like I'm some guru, but that's
it's a good message, though. It's very simple, but very good message.
Yeah, man. I think you've gone through a huge amount. I admire anybody that leaves home at 14. I couldn't have done that. So I think there's always, you know, nuggets of wisdom. Although you're only 24 and there's still so much life to live, you've lived an amazing 24 years. You know, I think there's always value to give there. You've seen such an interesting perspective versus what the common man or woman would see. I think,
you know, when you're going through it as well, you never really think about it, or you never have time to reflect and think, wow, this is like. Because I remember sometimes I used to like pray for certain things, and then when I get it, I haven't even thought. Do you know what I mean? So you got to be thankful as well. And I think it's good to come home and see the family, and, you know, see where you come from and see how your life has changed, you know, because there's, like I say, things can go bad really quick, you know, so you always got to be thankful and grateful.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I think on that note, Morgan, that's us.
That was great.
Love it.
Did you enjoy that, Corey?
Yes, boss. Yeah, I did, yeah. I was getting into it. I liked it, yeah. It's good. I've actually never done I've never done a podcast, not only interviews and stuff, so
yeah,
it's new for me, but it's good.
Longer form's nice. It definitely, we're well used to it now, but I think you kind of, our job is to kind of probe, and then you kind of just get into a flow, like you, kind of things pop up in your head, like, oh geez, I never even thought of that, like regardless if cameras are on or anything like that, you know. You always kind of find a different space, but there's a lot of good football podcasts now in the UK. I'm sure I've seen way more players on podcasts now, whereas 5 years ago it was never a thing.
Honestly, that's all you've seen. I got on my phone and see a lot, and a lot of people tune in and watch them, so it's good. But I think when you've not done one before, you think, oh, podcast, I don't know if I want to do that, but then when you're in it, it's actually good, yeah, because you might, as well as you're talking about it, you're reflecting on other things, and you think, do you know what I mean, and things come back and you come away from it like feeling good, happy, do you know what I mean? So I've enjoyed it. I might become a fucking what do you call it, a podcast guru now. I don't know what you see me every week, just different one. Yeah, what's up? You see the same stories.
Be on Joe Rogan next.
Reposted, yeah, man. I'm a podcast. We can get on it now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God. Well, thanks for your time, Corey.
Yeah.
No problem.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, man.